Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Neha Singh, registered migration agent with Aussizz. I'm working from Werribee branch for Aussizz. So today we are all here to get answers to your questions, whether that is related to migration, education, your family visas. So if you have any questions, just leave the comment below and we'll try to answer as much as possible with whatever information you would be providing. And if there is some specific kind of question which needs further clarification, you can just call your nearest Aussizz branch for further clarification on your questions so that we can help you out with your queries. I think people are still joining. So now, as we know that we have entered into the new financial year for Australia, there are many updates in terms of migration and education, and people are asking questions that for the new updates, whether they are eligible for the migration state nomination or their visa related queries. So I'll just start with few updates that is the hottest topic, the extension of your 485 post-study stream visa. People who are holding 485 visa and their studies, whatever they have done, their qualification is in the list, their course code is in the list, they are eligible to apply for the extension of the 485 visa, which will be granted to them for 2 years. And if they are not eligible, there are other options they can go for. At present, they are eligible for the 408 visa as well. But you can just contact whatever options you are eligible for depending upon your particular circumstances. So we have got a question from Nanak. He's saying that he is a registered nurse in Perth, would like to study further, with which I can earn more the same number of hours working as a nurse, RN. So Nanak, if you are a registered nurse and you are registered with APRA as an RN NEC, you need to work 3 months, minimum 20 hours per week. You need to make at least 260 hours of experience into some particular stream. Like if you work 260 hours for 3 months, minimum 20 hours per week as a disability worker into RN into disability or aged care or in perioperative mental health, then you can update your letter of determination from NMEC as an RN NEC, from NEC to mental health or perioperative, respective in which field you have worked with. So we got one question for Melina. I'm a teacher with a master's in IT in education, but I don't meet all the requirements in AITSL. So Melissa, you have done master's in IT education. So to be a teacher and to get your skills assessed as an from AITSL as a teacher, as a pre-primary school teacher or as a secondary school teacher, you need to have a qualification into teaching, plus you need to meet the English requirement, which is IELTS Academic 8877 to get your skills assessed into that occupation. We are getting questions from Chaitanya. My friend has never traveled abroad. Is there any option for her other than tourist or spouse visa? So Chaitanya, this question seems to be very incomplete. I don't know which country she is in and what are her qualifications. If she holds some qualifications and experience which could be assessed for some occupation, we can try for the GSM visas for her from offshore, but I need to check what particular skills and qualifications and which country she belongs to, we can suggest according to that to you. I have got a question from Abhishek. What are the chances of getting a tourist visa to Australia for a family of 3? So Abhishek, tourist visa is like a visa which is getting a lot of refusals right now from the department. But depending upon their particular circumstances, looking into their profile, if they are making good intentions to return back to their home country, they are having a very good profile back home, chances are that visa would be granted. And if they have someone who is PR or citizen, they can come here on a family sponsored visitor tourist visa as well. But they would have a no further stay condition on that visa. So they would not be able to convert to some other visas while they are in Australia. We got a next question from Nishatha. I have already put my EOI for 190 PR. The previous financial year, I do have to lodge a new EOI for the new financial year. So Nitasha, you do not need to lodge a new EOI for 190 for this new financial year. But yes, I don't know which state you have lodged your EOI. If you are in Victoria, Victoria requires you to lodge a new ROI for the new financial year. No need to lodge a new EOI. But if there are some changes in your point or your circumstances, you need to update your EOI as well. We got a question from Sujan. Hello, ma'am. I have done ABN income and hours count under 24 hours limit for student visa holder. So, Sujan, I do not know what kind of question you are asking. Are you asking for your income or your hours or experience? So please specify this question. It seems to be a little incomplete question. Next is Anet. If we have NVQ level 3 without experience, without employment, sponsor can't be migrate. Anet, I am not able to answer this question because I'm not able to get the question what you are asking. NV level 3 without experience, without employment, sponsor can't be migrate. So what NVQ stands for, what I'm not able to understand. But if you are having some qualification, we need to check what occupation it falls into. We can assess the qualification from the concerned authority. And if you are meeting all other criteria for the GSM visa, we can still help you out with the options for PR to migrate to Australia. We got a question from Garima. Would COVID visa be going ahead until 2023? So Garima, at present, COVID visa, the COVID temporary activity visa is still there. You can apply, but we do not have any information from the department. Would that be still going the end of 2023 or not? So right now it is there. And if you have your visa expiring in the next 90 days, you can still apply for the visa if you want to, if your visa is expiring soon and you are not making any other options for yourself to apply for. We have got a visa question from Farhan. I'm an electrical engineer, finished master's in 2021 and working as an electrical engineer. Am I eligible for TR extension for 2 years currently in 485 visa? So Farhan, this question seems to be incomplete. You are on a 485 visa. You have done your master's in electrical engineer. I need to know the course code. If your specific course code is in the list specified by the department, then yes, you can apply for the extension of your 485 visa. But if it's not there, then you have to look for other options. Either it can be a 408 visa if your visa is expiring in next 90 days. If not, then it's better to go for a student visa for yourself. That would be a good option. I got a question from Sagar. My skill assessment is expiring next month. ICT security specialist. I have 14 months work experience as a system administrator. Question, what positive skill assessment can I expect from ACS? So, Sagar, I suppose you got your skill assessment from as an ICT security specialist based upon your PY, and now you are working as a system administrator. So I suppose if you have 14 months of experience, you need to get it assessed from ACS, but with all the evidence of your work for this 14 months. If it comes out to be positive, then you can go for your skill assessment PR process as well. I don't know which I got this question from someone stating that they are on a student visa, but can I apply for SBO? Will I have any working hours condition? So for the small business ownership, you need to hold a visa with full work rights. As you are on a student visa, you have a work limitation on yourself, so you can plan on your TR for the small business ownership pathway for yourself, but not on the student visa at present. We got a question from Simran. How is the score for marketing specialist for offshore candidates? Also, is 80 points good enough? So Simran, marketing specialist is in the priority list for Australia. And if you're making 80 to 85 points for yourself and you have a positive skill assessment for yourself as a marketing specialist from VETASS, definitely there are states who are looking for marketing specialists. You should apply from offshore, and yes, hopefully there should be chances for you to get invitation for that. We got a question from Chirag. What are the chances for management consultant with 1 year of work experience and BBA? PTE is 90. So Chirag, if you have 1 year of experience as a management consultant, have you done your skill assessment or not? I don't know, but BBA is in marketing. So yes, if you have a relevant experience for 1 year, you can get your skills assessed as a management consultant, and there are high chances for you to get invited for as a management consultant as well. You can try for 189, 190 or 491, and you need to look into the requirements of the respective state, whatever you are looking as a management consultant. So next question is from Mayank. As per MSA booklet for Engineers Australia for engineering manager, we couldn't find any criteria for number of subordinates reporting to engineering manager. Can you please clarify if there is any requirement for hierarchy chain? So Mayank, to get yourself assessed as an engineering manager, you need to have at least 3 to 5 years of experience into that occupation. And there is no such specified number like how many subordinates should be reporting to you as a manager, but you need to provide a organization chart specifying the number of your colleagues and subordinates who are reporting to you with their roles and responsibilities as well. We have a question from Leo. I have lodged visa 836. What are the next steps since my application was acknowledged valid by department? So I wait for them to contact me. They can grant me visa, or do I wait for the queue? So 186, you have to wait, Leo, for that thing. Department would, if you have lodged the visa, you have to wait for the grant, and department would definitely contact you for that. Next question is from Mayank. One to Zoom session for free, one-to-one Zoom session for the free assessment of some. So Mayank, we generally do not charge for our clients, but yes, on case-to-case basis, we do charge for the consultation as well. So there is, so Chirag has answered that her friend who is not in Australia, she is ineligible for student or GSM visa. She is in India. So if she is not eligible for any GSM visa and not for student visa, then there are very few chances for her to migrate. Vista, you can try, but you said she's not having any skills, she might not be working there, so very few chances for her to migrate to Australia. Vista have high chances for refusal as well, because you need to show your intentions to go back to your home country. You need to be a very genuine Vista for a Vista visa. You can apply for a dependent or a partner visa for her. We got a question from Teddy. Completed 3 Australian bachelor's degree in computer science, majoring in software development. Currently doing PY. Has no related experience. Can apply for 2 occupation software engineer and developer programmer with ACS skill assessment is on go. So Teddy, yes, you can apply for your skill assessment if your bachelor's is in majoring in computer science and you have, after completing your 1 year of professional year, you can apply for your skill assessment with ACS, either as a software engineer or as a developer programmer. Both of them are closely related occupations, so you'll get a positive skill assessment from ACS for those, both the occupations. We got a question from Seju. Is the process has been started? What about labor work visa in aged care? So Seju, labor agreement for the aged care people who have certificate 3 in disability or aged care and they are working here for 1 year in that industry, they can go for the 482 visa in aged care industry, but they need to know that whatever industry as an aged care worker they are working, their employer should be ready to sponsor them and they should have the labor agreement with the state as well. So you have to ask your employer for this thing, if whether they are they want to sponsor you and are they in labor agreement with the state as well. If yes, then yes, you can go for the 482 visa in aged care as well. We got a question from Mahesh. Chemical engineer with 15 years of experience, which state is favorable to apply for? So Mahesh, I suppose you are offshore, or if you are in Australia, then it's good. Even if you are offshore with 15 years of experience as a chemical engineer, you need to get your skills assessed, and after that you can apply for as an offshore applicant. If you are onshore, you need to see what are the requirements of the respective state, whatever you are looking for. Yes, high chances. I think all the states are open for offshore applicants, and yes, Victoria, New South Wales, West Australia, Queensland would be favorable for you. South Australia is also a very good state for offshore applicants. We got a question from Bishu. Which uni would be better for 2024 intake, UWA or Macquarie for MPA? So Bishu, I cannot comment you on this thing. I can make you talk with one of the education counselors from Aussizz. They can better let you know with the requirements for MPA for 2024, and that can help you out with this question. We got a question from Anet. If we have NQV level 3 without experience, without employment, sponsor can't be. Anet, I think this question is very incomplete. What occupation you are looking for, and how if you do not have any kind of experience, then sponsorship from an employer is not possible, because for the employer sponsor visa, if it is TSS 482 visa, you need to have 2 years of full-time experience into your nominated occupation. And if it's in 186 visa, then you need to have 3 years of experience. So without employment, without experience, employer sponsored visas are very difficult to get for you. Srujan, I'm a student working in aged care as an accountant for 24 hours a week, and can I do Uber Eats? Is it allowed to Uber Eat because this is ABN income? Suraj, because you are on a student visa, I would say just abide by your work conditions, whatever you know that on a student visa you are allowed to work 24 hours per week. So just be mindful that you do not breach that condition. So I know that Uber is on ABN, but yes, you will be getting ABN and TF. And if someone, that is always advisable that you should abide by your work condition, whatever is on the visa. So I would say just stay in that 24 hours per week requirement for yourself. So there is a question from Sunil Sharma. Also, my sister teaches Hindi only as subject. So this seems to be very incomplete question. If you can answer what you are looking for, then I can answer you, Sunil, this question. We got a question from Nilesh. Please kindly advise how long it takes to convert visitor visa to student visa from inside Australia. How long it takes for approval. So Nilesh, for a visitor visa to be converted to a student visa, if you do not have a no further stay condition on your visa, generally the processing time is 1 to 2 months. Depends upon your profile, if you're meeting all the criteria for GT. So 1 to 2 months is the, I would say, the time for the approval or the processing for the visa for a student from a visitor visa. We got a question from Sagar. He's saying that I don't have to go for ICT security specialist now. Instead, apply as a system administrator. May I, or maybe both. Please advise. So, Sagar, I need to check whether this. I think suppose these occupations are almost closely related, and if you are working as a system administrator for the last 14 months, you can apply for system administrator with ACS to get your skills assessed. Got a question from Sahil. I have roughly 8 months left of 485 visa. I got skill assessment from motor mechanic. I have owned 60 points. It is good idea to move in Tasmania for 190, and right now I have job offer from Tasmania. So Sahil, I don't know which state, what state you are into, but I would say if you are getting a job offer from Tasmania, you need to meet the requirements of the state for 190. If you're meeting, chances are you might get invited, but please work on your points as well because it's only 60 points, definitely. So as we have entered the new financial year, there are many updates. Recently, VETAS I'll share with you that VETAS has announced that they would be looking into fast track processing of few applications. As you know that they are taking longer than usual, which is 4 to 6 month processing time at present for VETAS application. But if your visa is expiring in the next 8 weeks, or your PT score is expiring in the next week, or you have been invited by the department for a visa and you have to get a skill assessment, VETAS have announced that they would be prioritizing those applications. If you have any of these circumstances, you have to provide evidence for that, and they will be processing your applications. As you all know that with the employer sponsor visa, there are many updates from the department. The first update is that the department has announced that the TISMIT has been increased from 53,900 to 70,000. So this is being implemented from 1st of July this year for the 482 and 186 visas only, not for the 491 or 494 visa applications. So as also there is a good news from the department that by the end of this financial year, they would be merging all the skill list into one. So people who had been working into the short-term occupations on a 482 visa, they would be eligible to apply for 186 visas as well, which is a very good news for many of the applicants. Also, they have introduced that if you are on a 482 visa and you want to change to some other employer sponsor because of any reason, then earlier it used to be that 60 days was the time period given to you to change your employer and you have to inform the department. But now it has been increased from 60 days to 6 months, which is good time, and during this time period you will be having full work rights as well. So we got the question from Akshay. I am on a postgraduate in supply chain. What authorities I should be applying to get my skill assessment? So supply chain manager would fall into IML. I suppose, let me check this occupation for you. If you are in you can apply for the skill assessment from IML as a supply chain manager. Let me check for you, Suraj. Just hold for a minute. So for the supply chain manager, you fall into IML. If you have experience as a supply chain manager for 3 to 5 years, then you can go with IML for your skill assessment. What would be recommending in terms of PR? Please refer to the previous questions asked. Bishu, I just have to look into the previous question for your was which university would be better. So Bishu, I told you that I would not be able to comment you for this thing. Education counselors would tell you the requirements for the universities for MPA for 2024, and they can help you out with this question. There is a question from someone. They have told to get tourist visa. Help me with tourist visas. Definitely, we can help you out with the tourist visa. What you need to do is you contact the nearest office of Aussizz, and we can definitely help you with the tourist visa. We got a question from Yasir. I have applied for 189 on 9th of December. Can you please let me know when I can get, and is it's ready past standard processing time? My occupation is motor mechanic. So Yashir, it's good that you have been invited for 189 and you have lost the visa for that. The department is at present taking little longer. The processing times are changing. So just wait and see if your standard processing time has passed. It doesn't mean that you would not be granted. Just be patient, and yes, they will come up with the grant for your 189 visa also. There is a question from Parv. Can we fast track skill assessments as chef if my brother visa is expiring soon? So Parv, your question is regarding the skill assessment as a chef. So if they have studied from Australia, they would be going for job ready program, which cannot be fast track. But if they have applied for, if they have not studied from Australia, they have overseas experience, they have to go with TRA, and there is no such process for the fast track one. They have to proceed with certain stages. Once that is clear, they can get their skill assessment done. If you have, and if you are applying as a skill assessment from chef from VetAssess, yes, you can ask them, but now they have mentioned that if you have certain situations like your visa is expiring, you have got an invitation, or your PT score is expiring in the next 8 days, yes, you can ask them to get it prioritized. We got a question from Teddy. can apply to occupation software engineer and developer programmer together with ACS skill assessment after completing PY. Completed 3 years bachelor's of software, has no experience. Yes, Teddy, if you have completed your bachelor's in majoring in IT and you have completed your PY, you can apply for 2 occupations with ACS. Yes. So we are getting, let people join and comment on ask questions. Meanwhile, we can discuss the new updates. As we all know that from 1st of July, students, the working rights for students has been again limited. Earlier, it used to be 40 hours per week. Now it has been increased to 48 hours per fortnight. So people who are working into aged care from on or before 9th of May 2023, they will be getting full work rights till 30th of December this year. For other, it would be there would be work limitations on their working rights. So we are not getting questions, so we'll discuss few updates from the department. So people there has been changes in for the 485 TS 485 visa. Similarly, people are asking questions, would they be requiring the 360 hours for the 485 GSM visa? So now the Job Ready has updated their step 1, which is PSA. There is no such requirement for the 360 hours for the PSA, but yes, that PSA is required to get the 485 visa. So you need to apply for the provisional skill assessment from TRA before you apply for the 485 visa graduate stream work. That is definitely required. 360 hours is not a requirement at present for the PSA from TRA. So that is one of the questions people do get from them. They did generally ask that we need to work for 360 hours to get a PSA positive? No, there is no need for that thing. I suppose we are not getting more questions, so before we get some questions, I would like to say that there are other further updates for the migration from 1st of July. The department has announced that there would be increase in the fee structure for all the visas, which has already been introduced. There are increase of 3 to 4% in many visas, and Vista visa there is an increase of 15%. It has increased to 150 from to 190 from offshore and $475 for offshore applicants. Partner visa, yes, there is an increase of $850, which is now $8,850. Every visa application charges for the department has been increased from 1st of July. We got a question from Rupal, 90 points in accounting with 2 years experience and currently living in Sydney. Any chance for PR? So Rupal, if you are working as an accountant from the last 2 years with 90 points, New South Wales was open without any work restrictions. You don't need to have any work experience there. But if you have 2 years of experience, 90 points, high chances for you to get invited for 190 New South Wales. We got a question from Syed. when will the 190 or 189 round for New South Wales? And I have 90 points. So Sayed, I don't know what occupation you are into. If you are having 80 points, okay, your occupation is a motor mechanic. So with motor mechanic with 80 points, you just need to live for 6 months in New South Wales, and high chances for you to be invited for 190 New South Wales. And for 189, we are expecting that they might conduct the invitation round as they did it in December last year. Hemant, can you please let me know the PR pathway with Bachelor's of Community Development? So community, Hemant, if you have done Bachelor's of Community Development, your occupation would be community worker. You need to get your qualification done. And if you have done an accredited qualification, which is accredited with ACWA, you do not need to get 1 year of experience. You just get your completion for your bachelor's and you can straight away apply for your skill assessment with ACWA as a community worker, and then you can start your PR pathway for yourself as a community worker. So coming to the other updates from the department, we all know that now the New Zealand passport holders, they can apply for their citizenship. If you are holding a 48444 special category visa in Australia and you have met all the requirements for the citizenship, you can apply straight away irrespective of applying for your PR. So people who are on 444 visa and are New Zealand passport holders, they can start with the process for their citizenship for Australia. I got a question from Teddy. Completed 3 years of Australian Bachelor's of International Trade and want to carry on doing graduate diploma in early childhood education on student visa. Is it still eligible for 485 after completing graduate diploma early childhood education? Don't want to do graduate diploma in early childhood on 485. So Teddy, if you have done, if you are doing, if you have, I'm not able to, are you on a 485 visa and you want to extend your TR, your student visa? I'm not sure. If that is the case, Bachelor's of International Trade, I am totally not understanding what you want to ask. You want to extend your student visa and do your early childhood. Are you asking this question? There is a question from Savalia. What about carpentry? So Savalia, if you have done carpentry in Australia, that the minimum qualification is certificate 3 in carpentry on a student visa, then you can do your job ready program as a carpenter. On completion of your job ready program as a carpenter, you can get your skills assessed from job ready as a carpenter and you can proceed for your GSM visas. Or if not, if you have experience, then you can go for employer sponsored visas as well as a carpenter. You need to look which state would be the best for you. South Australia, I would say, is a very good option. If you do your job ready program there, you meet the requirements for the state nomination and you can go for 491 or 190 South Australia as well. We got a question from Tutor. Do we need IELTS if India? You are a maths teacher with 15 years of experience in school. Is there any way for direct PR in Australia, Sydney for teachers, secondary? So Tutor, though you have a 15 years of experience, you need to get your qualification and your experience assessed from AITSL as a secondary school teacher. Only after that you can proceed for the pathway for yourself for Australia as a secondary school teacher. So I don't know what qualification you are holding. If it's not in teaching, then it's not possible for you to get it through AITSL. I got a question from Ankit. I have applied for my PR through carpentry trade in West Australia. What is update regarding to this? Carpentry trade in West Australia. Have you lodged the visa? Then it's good. You just need to wait for the updates and be granted your visa. But in West Australia, if you are working or if you are a graduate from that stream, then it's good. If you went to the West Australia, you need to meet the requirements for skill assessment, 65 points and 6 each, and wait for the invitation, apply for 19491 for West Australia. Management accountant. I have a question from Sumit. Management accountant, 70 points of own superior English. Any chances of getting invitation under 191 visa? So Sumit, 191 visa is like for the 191 visa, you need to be holding a 491 visa. Are you on a 491 visa? Then you just need to meet, there is no such requirement of points for 191 visa. You just need to have a 491 visa and meet the living and working conditions in regional area on 491, and after 3 years of meeting those requirements, you can straight away apply for 191 visa. And if you are asking for 190 visa as a management accountant with 70 points, you need to see what are the requirements for 190 for the state where whatever you are looking for. If yes, then if you're meeting the requirements, you have chances to be getting invited for 190 for your state as a management accountant. I got a question from Devang. Mechanist, 70 points in Melbourne, have field job 2.5 years. This is it a mechanic or Devang? I'm not able to find any occupation with this thing. Is it a mechanic, motor mechanic? If it's a motor mechanic with 70 points, 2.5 years of experience in Melbourne, let the state come up with their requirements for 19491. We can tell you if you haven't applied, you should look into the requirements, what Victoria would come up. And if you're meeting the requirements, that chances are you might get invited for that. There is a question from Teddy, completed 3 years of Australian Bachelor's of International Trade and want to carry on extended student visa on diploma. Is it 5 after completing graduate? So Teddy, if you have completed bachelor's and do not want to apply for your 485 visa after that based upon your bachelor's, you can do your graduate diploma. And then once you can extend your student visa based upon the graduate diploma of early childhood. Once after you completing your studies, you can apply for your TR based upon your bachelor's, and you will be granted the 485 visa for 2 years. There is a question from TutorWise. I have BTech and MTech mechanical engineering and teaching in Delhi in secondary school for 15 years as assessment is positive. Then for direct PR, do we need to give PR? Direct PR. For this thing, if you have done BTech, MTech, and you have your skill assessment from Engineers Australia as a mechanical engineer, but you have 15 years of working in a school as a secondary school teacher, that experience is not going to give you any points for this whole year, 15 years of experience, because that is not relevant to the mechanical engineering. Though you can apply for your PR from offshore, from India, and yes, you can try if you're making good points. With engineering, you need to make at least 80 to 85 points to apply, and need to see what would be the requirements for the respective state for yourself as an offshore applicant. I got a question from Ramandeep. So Devang, mechanist. Mechanist, Devang, I'm not, I don't know what you are asking with this mechanist. Devang, with mechanist, 70 points, Melbourne have 70 points. So machinist, machinist. So Devang, is it machine? And what is it a machine operator or what? If metal mechanist, okay, metal mechanics with 70 points and 2.5 years of experience have positive skill assessment from TRA. High chances to be invited for that, Devang. Definitely you can try for your GSM visas for Victoria for 190, 491. Let the state come up with the new requirements for this financial year, and looking into that, if you're meeting the requirements, definitely you should start up with that, and chances you can be invited by the state. But yes, Victoria, as I told you, Victoria is a state who is looking for more professional people into IT, engineering, mechanical, social worker, teachers. For 491, definitely you can try for 491 Victoria to be invited as a mechanist. There is a question from Ramandeep. I am BTech IT graduate from India with 2.8 years of experience as a SAP consultant. 2.8 years of SAP consultant and looking to switch to another domain. How can I apply for Australian PR? So Ramandeep, first, if you are looking to migrate to Australia and you are offshore, not in Australia, then you need to get your skills assessed first from ACS as a software into your occupation as a SAP consultant. You said you had been working for 2.8 years. And then you need to meet the requirements. Yes, Victoria is open, would be open. Definitely last year it was open for offshore applicants. Then definitely you can try, let the Victoria announce their requirements. We would be soon coming up with the updates from the state. So let the state open up, and then you will have a clear picture what are your possibilities for Victoria as an offshore applicant. So I think we are not getting any more questions from the viewers. So I would just start, give an update, a little bit update on other visas, like a working visa, working holiday visa. The state, the department has announced that people who are on a working visa, there is a change of age limit, which has been increased for UK passport holders to 30, from 30 to 35 years. So that is one update from the department. So we are not getting any questions anymore. So I would just like to tell the viewers that if you are looking for the migration related inquiries related to the state nomination, right now all the states are closed. They haven't announced their requirements. At present, West Australia is open. Tasmania announced that they are taking the application from 5th of July onwards. All the other states are still closed, and we are looking forward to start with the requirements and the allocations which has been allocated to the respective states. Maybe very soon the states would be announcing their requirements. So stay tuned with us, and we will be publishing all our the new requirements, new updates from the state on our social medias. So if you have any questions, you can just contact us anytime your nearest branch, or you can contact whatever is through any channel to Aussizz, so that we can assist you with your migration related inquiries. We got a question from Sunil. How many years of TR do recent graduate accountants from South Australia will get? So Sunil, this is if you have done bachelor's, you'll be getting a TR of 2 years. And if your course, course code accountant is would be getting only for 2 years. I suppose the accounting is not in the list. So you'll be getting, if you have done bachelor's of accounting, you'll be getting it for 2 years. And if you have done master's of accounting from South Australia, you'll be getting it for 3 years. There is a question from Ritika. I'm a pharma moved to Sydney last year on student visa. Would you please guide me for the PR pathway? My skill is under industrial pharmacist and I do not need to undergo the camps. So Ritika, if your occupation is, if your nominated occupation is industrial pharmacist, you do not need to go for the caps. It's for the retail and hospital pharmacists only. As an industrial pharmacist, you need to get your skills assessed from VET-Assess, and for VET-Assess requires post-study 1 year of experience, minimum 20 hours per week, undertaken in the last 5 years. If you have that experience as an industrial pharmacist, you better get your skills assessed from VET-Assess, and then you can start with your PR process. We got a question from Mohan. My friend has done computer engineering 10 years, but my friend have computer engineering done by in India, but experience is from alarm department in Singapore, not relevant experience. What will you suggest? So Mohan, if your friend has done bachelor's or in computer science, but they are not working into the relevant industry as you have told, then it's very, very difficult for them to get the skills assessed from ACS, because for a qualification majoring in IT, if it's offshore, you need to have 2 years of experience in your nominated occupation in relevant experience to get a skill assessment done. Only then you can proceed for your PR pathway. I would say if they are working in Singapore, they better try for a student visa for Australia. Come here on a student visa, get a qualification done into IT. And then after, if they are finding a job experience of 1 year in their field, get your skills assessed from ACS, or they can do 1 year of PY to get ACS positive, and then you can proceed for your PR pathway. My friend can apply 482 visa or the PR. So if your friend do not have, I think this is the question for Mohan. So Mohan, yes, if you're as a alarm department, fire alarm department, I don't know what occupation they what are they working into. We need to check what are the occupations for them, and if they find an employer, if they have 2 years of experience into the industry, they can go for the 482 visa, but they need an employer who is ready to sponsor them for the 482 visa. I got a question from Dipti. My husband skill assessment expired and chance for renew it. He had cook and chef skill assessment from TRA, but it expired last year and now he changed his occupation as well. So Dipti, if your husband's occupation is cook and chef, which was issued to them from TRA and it has expired, they need to show 3 years of experience in that field. And out of those 3 years, 1 year should be in Australia. If they have changed their occupation, then it is very difficult to get the skill assessment done from TRA again. They need to have 3 years of experience, and out of that 3, 1 should be in Australia. They should be working in Australia for 1 year. I got a question from Sunil Shah. I had done my Masters of Accounting from South Australia, and there is no additional TR for regional students who had been studying in South Australia. Sorry, there is no additional TR. So you have done Masters of Accounting from South Australia. So Sunil, you can get your additional TR from regional student studies. On that TR, you need to live and work in regional to get that additional TR for yourself on the basis of regional studies. I got a question from Sebastian. Is it quite important to have superior English to get an invitation for 190 in West Australia? I'm a civil engineer with 85 points and civil drafter with 80 points living in West Australia at the moment. So Sebastian, if you are a civil engineer with 85 points and you are living in West Australia, it is not important that it is not a requirement that you should have 8 each in your IELTS or PT. It's just to make points. If you're the minimum requirement to have for English is 6 each, but to get more points, if you are having superior English, it will add on to your points. It's not a requirement. And as a civil engineer, if you are living and working in West Australia, high chances for you to be invited because West Australia is keen on granting people. And yes, civil is also a very good option for them. It's in priority for West Australia because they would be inviting people into construction and civil engineering thing from this financial year. So I got a question from Ibrahim. What are the timelines for skill assessment? 3 months already over and still not received response. So Ibrahim, I don't know which skill assessment, which authority you have applied, but at present, most of the authorities like ACS, VETASAS, they are taking longer than what is expected from them. So yes, you have to wait, or you can ask if something like any urgent, like your visa is expiring, or you have been inviting by the state by the department for an invitation, you can ask the authority to fast track your processing for a skill assessment. So that's it for the day. If anyone have any other questions related to migration, you can just leave a comment or you can contact Aussizz anytime your nearest office of Aussizz. So this is all for today, and yes, thank you.